Hey guys, so I really felt like making a video today and I was thinking about it for quite some time trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I finally kind of decided on this out of the blue. Like, I had a couple things I was thinking about and then this idea came to mind and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my experiences with self-harm, and this is kind of a serious topic. Can't think of the word that I'm looking for. It's a very heavy discussion, and there are just a few aspects of it and stuff that I wanted to talk about in hopes of helping people. So that'll come later in the video. I wanted to talk about how I fully came to terms with it. So to start off with, I started self-harming in 2011. February 7th was the first day I actually cut myself, but for months before that I used to I had this necklace. Actually, it was this necklace, but it was a different chain and there were more stuff on it. But I used to take it and just hold it really tight so that it would cause an indent that looked like a scar. Because a lot of people, they self-harm for the blood or the pain, but I did it for the scars. And because I felt like they would be a constant reminder to me as to the fact that I could get through things. And almost like a self-tattoo is what it felt like to me, because tattoos, they're just a constant reminder of things, and I was in 9th grade, so I had just barely turned 15 when I started doing this, and so I wasn't old enough to do that, and I just felt like I needed that constant reminder to myself and also others. I actually did it a lot for attention in the beginning. I'm not going to lie about that. I did hide it. I used to wear these, they're in the washer right now because I'm washing everything, but I used to wear these arm warmers basically all the time to hide everything, because I did want to hide it, but in case anybody asked about it, I wanted to prove to them that I wasn't okay. And that's kind of a weird way to go about it, but I will admit that yes, in the beginning I did do it for attention. And I have 3 different people that I constantly say are the reason why I started, and 2 of them were just to prove that I was in a bad place. And because it's really hard when you have a mental illness, because there's no physical proof that you're really, really messed up. And I needed that physical proof to show people that I really did need help. And I was very open about it in the very beginning. I let my mom know within a month after I started what was going on, and specifically asked her to get me to see a therapist because I really knew that I needed help, and I didn't know any other way to show how badly I needed it. And so the other person that I say is the reason why I started, he actually helped me through it a lot without really even knowing, and I was doing some bad things at the time in terms of manipulation, and I felt like this was a way to emotionally manipulate him into caring about me, and I'm not proud of it at all. This was almost 4 years ago. I actually just started talking to this person again last month. We hadn't talked for a couple years and we're still really good friends, and I don't know. But after going through therapy and helping with my depression and stuff, I started faking it. saying like that I was good when I wasn't. In fact, my therapist was proud of me because she said that she'd never helped somebody so fast before. It took her 4 sessions, but I was still really messed up, and I continued to do it, and that was when it started becoming more of an addiction, and just waiting for that next fix kind of thing. And then all through that summer and stuff, and then I started 10th grade, and I was still really messed up. I used to tell people that I wanted to be the person that everybody hated. I wanted to be the one that everybody bullied. I wanted people to hate me for no reason, because I felt like, again, I just felt like I needed proof that I was in a really bad place, and it's really hard to get that proof, and I wanted there to be a reason why I felt like I did. Because I couldn't see a reason why I felt so crappy, and so I was making up reasons. I would read stories about people who had depression and self-harm issues on DeviantArt and put myself in their place so that I could feel as crappy as they did and understand and have a reason for me to be so crappy. But it was becoming a really bad habit of mine to put myself in bad situations so that I had a reason to feel the way that I did. And it's really scary when you find out you have a mental illness when you don't really, like, you hear about mental illness and you learn about it in health, but actually having one is a completely different experience, and it's really quite overwhelming once it sets in. I've had anxiety since I was a kid. I had my first panic attack when I was 4 years old, and so I was used to the anxiety. I could deal with fear, but having depression was a completely different experience, and I wasn't really expecting it. And what made matters worse is that I wasn't depressed all the time, because I found out the second time I went to that first therapist. I ended up going back to her later that year. I found out that I was bipolar, and I really wasn't surprised because all of my sisters had bipolar, and my mom was bipolar, and my grandma was bipolar, and my great-grandma was bipolar, and all of my aunts are bipolar. Like, it's kind of like a given. Like, I was gonna be bipolar, but it was completely different to be told you had bipolar than to actually experience it. And it was very confusing for me to have days where I just felt so good, and then days where I felt horrible, and there was no reason why I should be feeling like that. And it was very confusing for me, especially as I was just going into high school. And so I ended up making some really good friends when I was in high school. When I started, like, unintentionally, I'm really good at making friends. Even though I didn't want to have any friends, I made them so easily that it was just like, it's impossible for me to not make those friends. And so I was still having really bad problems with this, and that guy that I was kind of doing it to manipulate him emotionally, I went through some tough times with him, and we weren't really that close anymore, and I took it too far, and he snapped at me. And after that, I realized how bad that I really was, and within like 2 weeks after he snapped at me, I decided that I wanted to recover. And that was a really big step for me, because there's a huge difference between, like, the fact that my mind had completely flipped, and it wasn't so much as I wanted there to be a reason why I felt crappy. It was, I understood that I felt crappy, but I didn't have to do crappy things because of it. And it was just huge for me to realize that. And I actually made a new friend that day. And I just, after it had, this was still in 2011. This was in October of 2011 when I decided I wanted to recover, specifically October 20th. I'm really big on dates. I just don't know why. But after I made that new friend that day, I started getting into a completely new friend group. And I really liked the new friend that I had, and he kind of helps me get over the guy that I had been manipulating emotionally. And I started to get better, genuinely feeling better, and I went hanging out with friends. I went on my first date, but a couple days after my first date, we were planning on moving, and my mom said something to me that really took me off guard, because I have such a great relationship with my mom that it was really difficult to hear her say something so negative about me. And I broke that night, and I think I was 72 days clean. I was somewhere in the 70s, and that was really hard for me. And I opened up to that friend that was my new friend. I opened up to him that night, and I found out that he was struggling with the same thing as me, and that really, really helped me. And I ended up getting really close to his best friend also, and I was just really not in a good place after that week, that I ended up breaking again that week just because of something that his best friend said to me. And then within a couple weeks after that, I actually started dating his best friend, and he was my first boyfriend. And I was basically fine, but I was having really bad problems with my anxiety at that point, and he didn't really understand that, just as I didn't really understand my depression. And like I said, it's completely different to experience something than it is to be told about it. And so I ended up breaking at one point, and he found out about it, and he was really upset about it, and he made me promise to never self-harm again. And I told him I would try, and that was the last time that I ever self-harmed. And that was, I actually I have this app that I got through Tumblr, because I made a Tumblr about my depression and my mental illness, and that helped me get through a lot. I actually got an email this morning saying it turned 3 today, which is pretty cool. And so, but I got this app called I Quit It. And as you probably could see, it says I'm 933 days clean. And that's freaking amazing. And even though it was a great addiction to me, and I still have a lot of problems with it, it's manageable. And I can fight it off, and that's a really great feeling, to be able to fight it off. It's really difficult, and it's a constant battle, but the fact that I can, it's amazing. And I've actually been wanting to get these tattoos since I was 15, having to do with my self-harm. During that summer was when I decided on them, but I wanted to get wrist tattoos so that it says infinite strength when I look at my wrists, talking about basically how I felt about my scars, how it showed that I had strength to overcome things. And I was going to get those for my 1 year last year in March, but I wasn't 18 yet, and my dad wouldn't consent to it. And so that was really difficult. And then I was going to get them earlier this year for my 2 years, but I didn't have the money, so I finally decided that I'm going to get them for my 1,000 days, which is this December. And I'm pretty excited about it, because it's like that final battle that I have to overcome, saying that I actually really did get through this and it's not coming back. And for a while I was doing the butterfly project too, which was pretty good. But the biggest thing that I've overcome recently is I used to keep my razors on hand just in case it just got too overwhelming and I caved. And it was like this constant reminder that, like, hey, you're probably gonna relapse because you're keeping all of these. And so this is where it starts to become more of a positive thing. I've been doing this thing called Gishwes. I actually have a doctorate in it now. But it's hosted by my favorite actor, Misha Collins, and every year he does this worldwide scavenger hunt. And this year was my second year doing Gishwes, and it's just a whole week of scavenging, and you're on a team with like a bunch of people all around the world and stuff. And I knew people on my team this year because I had met them last year through Gishwes, so it was like different. And so the main item that I did for Gishwes was called it's not called anything, but it has like a description, like this is what it's supposed to be, but it's just like find something that you're keeping for all the wrong reasons, destroy it mightily. And so I ended up getting all of my razors together, and my friend Laura came over and helped me, and we built like a little pyre in my driveway, and we put all of my razors in it, and then we took like pliers and stuff, and we bent them and we broke them and we completely destroyed them. And I'll put a picture in of what we did. And then I ended up, after I took that picture for Gishways, I ended up, we walked down the street and I just threw them away, and I have a video of that too that I'll add.
I want to throw it over the top. It'd be awkward if that was like a cop and they're like, "Are you littering?" Yay. And just press it to stop it.
So as you can see, it was a very big thing for me to actually get rid of those. I actually still have, it was somewhere, oh, it's right here. I still have this from the X-Acto knife, but there's now no blade in it. And it's almost like a really cool thing to look at. Like, this was a really big part of my life. That was a very big part of a bad part of my life. And seeing it now not fully there, it can't hurt anymore. And it's just really nice to know that. And I've actually considered throwing a destroying party with my friends that also struggle with self-harm and help them destroy their razors too, because it was just so amazing to feel what I felt after I did that, and I really want other people to feel that too. So basically what I'm getting at here is, if you've had issues with self-harm in the past and you're keeping your razors, destroy them, because it feels so great. There was also this Tumblr that I saw a really long time ago of somebody who actually accepted any self-harm tools from people, and they would put them on a piece of paper and put them up on their wall to show like that people have recovered. And I was gonna send all my razors to that, but I ended up feeling better about destroying them for Gishways. So you can do like one or the other. If I can find it, I'll put the link below to the guy who accepts all of the self-harm tools and puts them up on the wall. I don't know if I'll be able to find it though, because I liked it a really long time ago on Tumblr. But if I can, I will post it. And I really hope you guys get to feel this amazing overcoming like I did, because nobody deserves to feel such crap that they need to do that to themselves. And yeah, but I'm here to talk to anybody about this. I've posted about my self-harm on Facebook a lot, and a lot of my friends have actually messaged me asking for help for their friends and how to help them, and they really appreciate the fact that I'm so open about it. And so I really want to be there for anybody who needs me to be there. I have had people message me on Tumblr before asking for help, and I ended up texting them all night, helping them. Like, I am here for you. I don't do anything, but just know that I'm here and that you're not alone. So, good luck to everyone. Bye.